Today we are learning how to decode these tricky words. The, this, that, these, those. These are tricky words, but they are not as tricky as they seem. Like I always say, word can be called tricky word but still have parts that can be sounded out. If you look closely at these words, you will notice that each of them start with the diagraph TH we are already familiar with. This diagraph makes two sounds, the voiced sound D and the voiceless sound T. In these words, this diagraph is making the voiced sound D. So let's look at the words one after the other. The word D. We have our familiar diagraph D. The E at the end is making a sure sound. It's saying So when we put the two sounds together, we have the, the, the. Now the second word, we still have our diagraph at the beginning. We know the sound of the letter I, it makes the sound E. The letter S makes the sound S. When we put the three sounds together, we have the E, S, this. There's nothing much about tricky words, just for you to know the regular parts and the irregular parts. Those parts your child can read with sounds, and then the part they cannot read with sounds, we explain them. If you know the secret, you can read any word easily. Like in this way now, the only time you will find it difficult to read this word is when you are trying to sound the letters separately. If you are trying to sound these letters separately, you will get stuck. The letter H makes the sound. You have is. That's not robotic. So we read TH when they come together in a word, we read them as one sound. So they are making just one sound here. The is this. Now the third word, same thing happens here. The first diagraph, the sound of the letter A, the sound of the letter T, the T, that. Where we have more tricky parts is in the word these and those. Now, for the word these, the tricky parts we have in this word are the letter E in the middle, that's the first vowel letter, and the letter S that makes the buzzing sound. Zzz. Our diagraph is at the beginning, D. Then the silent E, also known as the magic E, will cast its spell on the first vowel letter. When you have two vowel letters in a word, the second vowel letter happens to be at the end. That is this letter E. It will cast its spell on the first vowel letter, be it letter E, I, or O, making it to say the letter name. So the silent letter is influencing the first vowel letter, making it to say the letter name E. Instead of E, it will say E. Then the letter S is making Z, like the sound of the letter Z, Z sound. Then the last vowel letter, letter E, remains silent. We'll now have the E, Z, the E, Z, these. These. The same thing happened here. Our diagraph, we already know the silent E is influencing the first vowel letter. It will say the letter name O, not O. Then the letter S there is making a Z sound. The letter E remains silent. We have those, those. This is how to explain these tricky words to your child. They are very, very much easier to read when you understand the secret. This and that, they have no tricky parts. No tricky part at all. So long as you are reading this diagram as one sound. In the first word, the only tricky part is the letter E at the end that is making a sure sound. This fourth word, the letter E at the end is influencing the letter E in the middle, making it to say the letter name. So we say the E, Z, these. The last sound remains silent. The same thing happened here. The last vowel letter influenced the first vowel letter, making it to say the letter name. Oh, those. So I'm going to drop the sentence practice for you and your child. Go ahead and practice these words and these sentences with your child. I'm going to practice with your child tonight. So cat is big. This is my cat. That is my cat. These are my cats. Those are my cats. Remember,